You may have heard it before, the dark side of autism. With Cassandra Syndrome, the dark side really enters our homes. And what does all that mean? When you talk about autism, it's a delicate subject for years, 20, 30 years, before we even know they may have autism, and the comorbid issues, and all the confusion around narcissism, all the confusion around the dark side. Why do they act this way? Why do they mean to do it? Do they not mean to do it? Why are they doing that to me? All of that I will explain. You have to see these dogs. They are wanting attention. Hey, Pepper? Pepper, you guys want to play? You want to play? No, I can't get this in here. Oh, come on. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh. No. Well, that's okay, I think. No? No, that's kind of bad. Why is it all crookedy now? Let me do this. Seriously? Why? My name is Diana, and I talk about Cassandra Syndrome. I also talk about the negative side in a relationship that is neurodiverse, non-autistic, autistic. So if you are watching this and wanting to know more, I will give you a look at what goes on inside of our homes married to someone who is autistic. I am non-autistic, but I am neurodivergent. I have dyslexia. So I always want to specify that it is about a specific niche that often talks about the dark side of autism. Honestly, with Cassandra Syndrome, the dark side really enters our homes. And what does all that mean? When you talk about autism, it's a delicate subject. Of course it is. And many autistic people are needing to be heard and needing to be understood. And many autistic people feel that Cassandra Syndrome is them, what they go through. Why we call ourselves Cassandra sisters or we have Cassandra Syndrome is because people really do not believe what's going on inside of our homes. And on the outside, most of our men look very normal. And with our specific group of guys, most of them weren't diagnosed. Very high functioning, we don't say that anymore. Very mild autism, we're even starting to not say that anymore. I don't know what to say, but it was known as Asperger's before. Very, very mild form of autism, but it's a huge spectrum. I can tell you that for my partner, he has specific areas on the spectrum that are, to me, feel low functioning. I'll just say it. I really want to get the point across that Cassandra Syndrome is a very, very harsh reality for us that are in these relationships. And most of us do not know that they have autism for maybe 20, 30 years down the road. And we think we're the ones that are crazy. And we're called crazy. When I first found out, it took me 7 years. What happens when we find out, we go through a very intense grieving process. And we go through the denial of it. We go through the anger. And we realize how angry we are for so many years of not understanding. Cassandra Syndrome, when the partner who has autism will not embrace what's going on, or they were diagnosed so late in life. My guy was 60 years old. He really doesn't believe it and doesn't really, at this point, care. He's been through hell throughout his life, not being understood, being different. And he just looks at me like, what are you talking about? I try to be very respectful for him, but I also share what goes on in our home. And he's okay. He knows about the channel and all of that. And he really doesn't faze him. A lot of women that are attracted to these men, or they're attracted to us, many of us are psychologists. Many of us are marriage and family psychologists. Many of us are just primed for this type of relationship. We just can't fathom somebody thinking the way they do. There's a lot of us who want to fix them. There's a lot of us who have vulnerabilities. There isn't one specific type of woman, but there's kind of a general way about us. Empathic, very emotionally intelligent, just wonderful, amazing women. We're seeing a lot of different mental health things now. It's opening up, thank goodness. We're getting more diagnosis for our children. We're getting it out there. But there is still this secret life that we live, and I'll be honest, destroys us. Destroys every fiber of our being when we don't know what's going on. It is so important to have that awareness. The dark side of autism is Cassandra Syndrome. Cassandra Syndrome and the dark side. There are some really extreme sides where we just feel like they are just evil. And I get that. I've met women who deal with that. If you have that combination of narcissism and autism, it can be very, very difficult, extremely difficult. And I can't say that about all of our guys. I can say about quite a few though. When you have a partner that is autistic, also has other comorbid issues, there's alexithymia, there's a whole host of things. There's the defiance, there's the conflict avoidance, there's the alexithymia, they can't put themselves in other people's shoes, they don't know how to express that empathy they have. Let's say if you have a soup and there's carrots and peas and corn and all this different stuff in it, and you're trying to find that one ingredient to make it work, it's next to impossible. And so you keep trying it and keep throwing things in, more ingredients, still tastes terrible. And the whole problem is the pot was dirty. The terrible analogy. But I think I don't even know what I mean. Tell me what I mean. Basically, or the pot wasn't meant to cook soup in. There, that's a little better. Oh my gosh. So, Cassandra, I can't recover. Cassandra Syndrome is, in a nutshell, death by paper cuts. Yeah. Because we will go through these little tiny hurts over and over and over and over again, and it just picks out flesh from our bodies for years. And then all of a sudden, we're this mush, and we don't know who we are anymore. That is how drastic and horrible it is. You literally feel like you've lost your soul in these relationships. I'm telling you, I am raw and real about this. I am tired of sugarcoating this. But I also know there are wonderful autistic people out there. This is not about you. It's not. Okay? This is about men that just cannot grasp it, and to the point where if you're afraid to comment on my channel, change your name, get down and dirty with it. Get into the thick of it and be healthy and be well and take care of yourself. And talk to me. Talk to other Cassandra sisters. You don't need to drown in this soup that will never be good for you. If you're staying with them, do it. If you've left them, do it, because you need years to repair and to heal. And if I'm speaking to you, please get the help and the care that you need for yourself. And if you're already doing that, it is a daily practice. If you're with them, if you've left them, if you're with them, you need constant practice to take care of yourself. I say practice because I lived in a Buddhist monastery for 3 months, and it was a practice. Meditation's always a practice. but a daily practice of taking care of yourself. And what is that? It is talking to other Cassandra sisters. I'm telling you, we have to talk to people who believe us. I'm begging you to not try to make the family understand. People are not gonna understand unless they live it. The outside world isn't gonna understand unless they live it. Now, the only way to get the outside world to understand is to just basically say, hey, look, there is something out there like this that's hurting women. So we need each other. And I will just say it over and over again, that we need each other. And to know in your heart and soul that it's not you. These are the two things I want you to take from this video, is that it's not you, and you need the support from people who believe you. It's not you, and you need the support from people who believe you. It's not you. You need the support from people who believe you. When you take things personal from him, it eats you alive. And it's very easy to do. I still do it. I will still pound the counter and say, how could he do this to me? He's so this and so that. How could he do this to me? He's just doing it for himself. That's all it is. It is the hardest thing for us to understand. He is not aware of you at all. That's baffling to us. That's not love for us. He is so busy in his own world. You're only something that gets in the way. Because if you live in the same house and under the same roof, you're just in the way of their routine, unless you're a part of it. And the only way to be a part of their routine is to do exactly what they want, not what you want. It has to be 100% them, or you're gonna have a very grumpy man on your hands. So yes, it's next to impossible. You can't have a reciprocal, loving, compassionate marriage relationship with these men. You just can't. This specific group again, and they do happen to be autistic. Also, people that don't believe, and if you're trying to get something across, even for therapists, they're gonna say they're narcissistic. That's the easy route. They're narcissistic, leave them. There's reasons we have to stay, and there's reasons that we know they're not narcissistic and they don't mean it. And I think it's very unfair to just say they're narcissistic and throw them to the wolves. I think that's unfair, because there is a goodness inside of them, even though you can't find it sometimes. They're autistic. And okay, so now we come to this. It's still abuse when you're not thought of, your needs aren't met, you're like a doormat, that's abuse. I've suffered a lot of different types of abuse, the financial, the emotional, even if you have children and they neglect, it is big. And what we have to do with that is to know it doesn't matter, it's still abuse. Whether they can help it or not, it's still abuse. So bottom line, don't take it personal. It's very hard to explain this, but they literally do not think of us. We are not somebody in their thoughts as a person, individual, outside of them. Unless I specifically say with a list, you have to get this and this and this and this. Do not deviate. Then he'll get it perfectly. But any type of caregiver role, they can't do it. Mine can't do it. If they haven't experienced it, they really don't know what it is. They don't have that put yourself in others' shoes. It's very simple, but it's very complex, and it's very hard for us to understand. Simply, if you need something that he doesn't need, you're really bothering him. And if he needs to take care of you, it's not in the schedule. So it's your fault for messing up his life because you need help. So I'm going to stop there. Take care of yourself.